Welcome back to my channel. We are back again on new video reaction. I don't want to waste much time. Please, if you are new on this channel, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to 12,000 subscribers and I expect you to join the moving train. So my people, like the video and tell us what you think about what we're about to discuss. Do not ignore the fact that something that we don't know is, we have a lot of things that we're supposed to learn, or so many things that you're supposed to know. Let me use the word knowing, because you don't need to go back to school to know your history. Sometimes, yes, school is important, but sometimes you have to do your own research to know. School is primary aspect of it, but you need to advance your knowledge by paying attention to people that know better than you and learn, so you can connect the dots. Normally, I love to pause video and comment, but this one I'm not going to do that. I will allow them to talk until the end, because one of the videos that I made last time, I got a comment that says that I always interrupt people when they're talking. So, welcome, better. But be it as it may, we are going to listen to this. It's all about this so-called Igbo coup. Some time ago I shared a video about it, and I'm going to bring a new one now. So most of you have seen it, some of you have not, but pay attention to what they're saying and I will be right back.
Was it an Igbo coup?
No, it was not an Igbo coup. It was not. And the answer is self-evident. Among the majors that carried out that coup, a principal actor was Major Adewale Ademoyega, a graduate of history from the University of London. He was one of the ideological foundations of that action. He and Major Emmanuel Ifajuna, who also was a graduate who read sciences at the University of Ibadan. They were the ideological bastions of that action. So you couldn't have an Igbo coup where one of the leaders was a Yoruba man.
One of the leaders out of many Igbo officers.
Not out of many Igbo officers, out of 5 officers. They are known: Ifajuna, Major Ifajuna, Major Nzogu, Major Okafor, Major, what's his name? This guy who was killed in the counter coup. So about 5 majors, and you had that Major Adewale, and you had lieutenants who were of other ethnic groups, including Atong Pera, who was from the north. But that is just one side of the coin. There is another vital side to that issue. By January 15th of 1966, there were 40 Nigerians who were majors who had attained their majority in the army. 40. Of that 40, 24 were Igbo officers. 24 of those 40 officers. If you went to the rank of lieutenant colonels, you didn't have up to 5 northern officers who attained or superseded the position of lieutenant colonel as of that morning. And of those 16 other majors remaining, they were mostly not from the north. They were from Cross River State, what is not Cross River State, so Akwa Ibom State, yes, south western Nigeria. So you didn't even have those officers in the north. If you had 24 majors, Igbo majors, and only 4 participated, how could it be an Igbo coup?
The military officers that were killed,
yes,
Ademolegun, Shodende, Maimalari, these were top officers, none of Igbo extraction. How do you explain that?
That's not correct. Lieutenant Colonel Ato Chinyelu Nebwe was killed. The man came from Orifte in Anambra State. He was killed.
What was the circumstances of his death?
he was in opposition to the coup. It wasn't because he kept the keys to the armory, because he was quartermaster general.
Yeah.
And it's not the job of a quartermaster general to keep the key to the armory. He was killed because he was opposed to that coup. And he was pure Igbo blood from the current Anambra state. So it is not true to say that no Igbo officer was killed. Lieutenant Colonel Ato Chinyelu Unebe, he was killed. He was cosmates with Yakubu Gowon. In fact, Yakubu Gowon was his best man during his wedding. They were friends.
But looking at the numbers, just one Igbo officer.
You are talking about percentages now. One Igbo officer, a life is too much to be taken. To even if you want to start from the basic point, I couldn't possibly support the taking of any life because I can't create one. But once it happened. You cannot deny that an Igbo officer was killed because it was only one person killed. Do you understand? And also, when you check about the northern officers who were killed, no Fulani officer was killed. Yes. No Hausa officer was killed. Like Jema was not a Hausa man. Malari was not a Hausa man. They were northern officers.
That brings us to the question. So how did we come to this conclusion that it was a northern army? Because if you look at the officers' corps, Igbos dominated the officer corps. So how did they not come to dominate the army?
I will explain that to you. The army is an appendage to executive political power. I told you that, extreme strength is its source. If it is filthy at the source, it will be filthy all throughout. If it only trickles, you won't expect it to be gushing down the line. Political authority resided with the Prime Minister, who was a puppet of the Fulani Premier of northern Nigeria, who was controlling the country. So the army was controlled by Sadana of Sokoto. That is why they had that dominance.
Before the coming of the Saudana, Igbo officers dominated the army.
They
right?
dominated the army in the officer corps. They didn't dominate in other ranks. No, they didn't. A lot of the troops you had were from the north, especially the Middle Belt area. That's where you had all those recruit private, lance corporal, sergeant. Those were mostly from the north and the Middle Belt region.
We can call them the foot soldiers.
Yes, other ranks, something like that. That's it.
So, having plotted the January 1966 coup,
yes,
you needed Igbo officers to counter it. Ironsi and the like of Njoku and Ojuku countered Nzogo and Co.
Yes.
Yet, some will still argue it was an Igbo coup. If it was an Igbo coup, how did Igbo officers counter it?
Yes, you see, your question is fundamental, and I have to use it to explain certain things. The south of this country, especially my own Igbo people, don't seem to understand the power of propaganda. Even though the doing of Nigerian journalism was Azikiwe, we seem not to understand it. What they did in the north was to establish what they called the Northern Historical Society. And then they got all these British colonial forces, colonial officers like Moffat and all the rest of them, to be writing a lot of nonsense, publishing a lot of falsehood, spreading disinformation, circulating misinformation, and people took those things to become the basic truth of what happened. The coup from day one was never, from conception to perpetration until today, was never an Igbo coup. but it was to their benefit to make it look like an Igbo coup. How could you have an Igbo coup and its main intention was to institute Chief Obafemi Awolowo as the Prime Minister of Yoruba man?
Is that the truth?
Yes. Chief Awolowo confirmed it in his book, My March Through Prison. It is there. It is there. They made Zogu was interviewed. He confirmed it. It's in the book written by Adewale while we struck. It's in the book written by Major Bullier. It's all there. Do you understand? Okay. Apart from, I in this book I devoted a chapter to General Yakubu Gowon that I entitled Agui-Ironsi's Army Chief of Staff. General Gowon is nearing 90 years. I think he should make peace with his God. I think he should make peace with his conscience.
Why?
Because he has been living a lie.
How?
What they did was to say that he was the one who crushed the coup. Yakubu Gowon arrived the country on the eve of the coup. He had no command.
Yeah?
You can't move troops without a command. The person who Ironsi gave the command to go and crush the coup was a Cameroonian, Captain Hans Anago. The man is still alive now. He's a traditional ruler in Cameroon because when these people, the southern Cameroon area, they went back to Nigeria. Back to Cameroon. So he entered the Cameroonian army. He ended up as a general. He is still there. I got him. I interviewed him. It's in the book. And the man said, Gowon knows. And heaven knows that I led the troops. He volunteered to join us. But they kept, if you read this book, I keep forgetting these people because they are liars, these white men. Nobody told lies more than white people. I've lived with them, I've schooled with them, I know them. They lied intrinsically. So they formulated this fabrication that it was Yakubu Gowon who crushed the coup. Crushed it where? It was Ironsi who went from his house in Ikoyi to Ikeja, that cantonment, and roused Colonel Hilary Njoku from sleep. And they mustered the troops. And he delegated them to go and crush the coup. That was what happened.
I believe you must have listened to them, and I believe that you must have learned something from what they said. And just like the title says here, okay, because I need to mention this title, I need to read it out from our brother that shared this video. He says, more revelation, how was it an Igbo coup when Obafemi Awolowo was to be the main beneficiary? Gowon knows the truth about what happened. You understand? So we don't need to say more because the video that have said it all. So if you have any comment on that, please put it on the comment section and tell me what you think. What is your own take? Do you agree or disagree? And before you go, like this video so that others we watch it. Why comment section is very, very important is that you can actually learn from people that will watch the video. Maybe they have better information or maybe a wider knowledge of what the video is all about. There's some I have picked some more information, important information from comment section. So it's always good that you try your best and air your own opinion. You don't need to be afraid. Nobody knows who is writing and nobody knows where you are writing from. So just put a comment and like the video. Very, very important. Like it and share it if you may. Subscribe if you are new and join our new platform, our backup channel, which is Kai Report News. Subscribe to that channel. Thank you so much and see you again. Bye bye for now. Take care.